Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, the owner, the boss lady of Tiffany Parker PR. And Billionaire, what's this Billionaire thing you got going on?
And well, it's a combination, just like you're a brilliant individual with billion-dollar ideas.
Okay, all right, I take that. I receive that.
Yeah, just like you, brilliant people, with with a billion-dollar
is
concept.
that a company?
So it is a network of individuals. So it's compiled of mostly people of color who are entrepreneurs, innovators, and creators.
Entrepreneurs, innovators, and creators. And how do you curate it? Like, what do you do to bring these people together?
So I help them strategize and come up with connections because I believe that collaboration is a new currency. So one of the things that we preach in our network is that individuals get together and pool their resources, and I'm talking about their assets, like what they can do, their skill set, not necessarily money, because it's really not about money. We believe that your brilliance will make a way for your billions, and so it was a concept that just came to me. I started talking to people about it. It was like, yeah, my brilliance ain't doing enough for me, and so I was like, well, let's maximize it. And so it's about 75, 80 of us. And it's just
75, 80.
that's about 75 or 80
that's a
people.
good number.
Yeah, and it's compiled of people who have doctorates, people who have patents, people who have trademarks, individuals with LLCs, people like you in the community who are esteemed leaders. That's what it is.
And how often do you have events?
Once a month, we generally get together and
How come I haven't been invited to one of these events?
because you always say no.
That is not true.
Well,
That is not true. How many times have I said no to you? I say no, but I don't be saying no to you.
you don't never say no to me. You just
know
say
what I
you
mean?
can't make it. You have never told me no. I'm not gonna lie. You've never told me no.
But if I
promise
can
you.
make it, I'll pull up.
Yeah, you will.
I'll
You
pull
will.
up.
You always did. You've always
I'll
supported
pull up
me
for
from
Tiff.
day one. You will.
I'll pull up for Tiff and
Since
say
high
it.
school.
And say it.
Yeah, you will.
What's up,
You were
Sid?
at my wedding 18
That's
years
right.
ago.
That's right.
Yeah, you were.
That's right.
We've been kicking it a long time.
Yeah.
And it's always been nothing but solid. I can't having this conversation with you is actually nostalgic.
Yeah.
I really don't get to see people who I started with in the business do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what trips me out? I was thinking about you before I came in here, and I was
It's
like,
nice to
man,
be thought of, bro.
I was like, Tiffany, every time I let some time go by and I don't talk to you, you're doing something else. You got something else going. I mean, like, if I let enough time go by, it's like the last time I checked, you was a restaurateur, and then the next time, you're working as the
General
custom,
manager.
you're the custom agent facilitator for the U.S. government or something. I don't know. Like, what's in your bio? It talked about you working in many capacities. What are some of the job titles and that you've had, and some of the professional people that you work with?
Oh my goodness. Well, you've been knowing me since high school. I was
have,
freshman class president when you met me
Right.
at Forest Brook.
Right.
I used to hear Willie Dennis report to the office immediately.
Ooh, wow! I hadn't heard that. I hadn't heard that statement in a while.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
But so when my degree is in criminology and corrections. I don't know if you know that. So I prepared
didn't know
myself for the business, right?
Yeah. Where'd you get your degree?
Sam Houston State.
Okay.
So I went to Sam Houston State. I couldn't do Prairie View or TSU. It was too much partying going on. But I got my degree. I did. I was I worked for the Mental Health and Mental Retardation Authority. I worked at Harris County Psychiatric Center. That's why I cut my teeth.
Oh, wow.
That's where I started. That was my absolute first job. And it was so dead end. I was just like, people show up and do this for 20 or 30 years. Well, I just could not grasp the concept of showing up to a job and getting paid the same money no matter whether you did good or bad. I was like, you got to do the 40 hours, but this lady over here is doing nothing, and I'm trying to maximize this position because I didn't know any better, and we still make the same money. And so I was like, if I'm going to do that, why don't I just do it for myself? Mm-hmm. And so that was probably the last formal job I had in my field. And then Rodney Hampton got drafted to the New York Giants. We grew up in
Shout out to
church
Rod.
together. Yeah, what's up, Ham? And he called me. Tiff, they out here doing celebrity games and stuff, and these people, you've been putting parties together since we were kids. You could do this. And I was like, how am I going to do it? I don't know any celebrities. He was like, I'm a celebrity. Like, man, shut up. Just tell him you know me. I was like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a roach fight, right? Okay, I got you. And he flew me out to New York, and I had no idea that what it meant for a person to get drafted first round. I had no clue because we called him Craig.
Right.
So I didn't know that Rodney Hampton and Craig was the same people. And so I get to New York, and of course he flies me into Newark, right? I'm like, you have $167 extra to fly me out to New York? He's like, man, I'm going to put it on my American Express. Hold up. You got American Express? We just had fake people 6
Man,
months ago.
You got tears in my eyes. You crazy, man. But that's just like you, though. Like, I think that's how you've been able to move as far as you've been able to, is that you don't take it, you're serious, but you don't take the people that you work with so serious that you look at them like they walk on water, whatever. And you've worked with a lot of influential people who I'm still waiting on you, like,
I'm going to tell you. So I get there, and I'm running around for him.
Besides Rodney.
Well, I
Yeah.
started with Rodney, and I like to pay homage to that.
Yeah.
I mean, with us going to high school together, you were the first person the first celebrity that I knew.
Yeah.
That I was like, he got a record and he on the radio and we know him, right? You were the first. But Rodney introduced me to the girls from SWB, so I was close to Lily. He introduced me to Lil Kim, Big Puff. They all lived in Teaneck, New Jersey, in the same apartment complex. So I just started running around for them, and then I realized you can make money doing this. And that's how I got started. And we did our first celebrity basketball game here in Houston, and I had everybody
The
from
Rodney Hampton celebrity basketball game.
And that's where I cut my teeth.
I'm almost certain I had to be there.
You were there.
I'm certain. Yeah, okay.
Destiny's Child performed halftime.
Yes.
You guys were, you all were our big celebrity.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you were, and that's kind of how we started. So we had Ice Cube, we had Brian McKnight, we had Chris Brown, Usher,
Oh,
we had
yeah.
R. Kelly.
Okay, it's time to bring that back.
You remember that?
That's some fun memories. Man, wow. We had a lot of fun with those games. Come on, Rodney, bring it back, man.
It was 3 days. Remember, we did a Friday night meet and greet in Houston. That's where Eddie George and Taj met. That's where, so many relationships were built as a result of that weekend.
Yeah.
And that's why I get to sit here today and talk about it, is because that's where my start was serving people.
When's the last time you talked to Rodney? Today?
Not today, but we generally do hot yoga together.
What?
Hot yoga.
What is that?
Just a room where they have it over 100 degrees and we do yoga in it.
What?
Yeah, that's how we stay looking this young. We're in our 60s right now. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Hot yoga.
Yeah. Bikram. It's a very lovely concept, and it gives you the stamina and the resilience that I need.
Yeah.
So he and I do it together from time to time. And we still have a close relationship, but that's how I got started. And then R. Kelly was here for that event. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, homeboy was calling me from jail. He had gotten stopped in Baton Rouge. He was like, Tiffany, I don't care what, I'm coming. There's no way I'd let y'all down.
This is R. Kelly talking.
And he was on a bus, and he came in, and that kind of just sealed it for me. Once I worked with him that weekend, I was just like, this is what I do.
Now, didn't at some point you become his assistant? You became his assistant?
Yes.
Oh, well, what's the problem? It's R. Kelly. Shit.
I don't ever talk about that experience.
Why not?
Just because I don't like the way that it ended for him. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like watching a good person, and it's watching a movie of somebody that you used to know. Because people say, you know such and such, you used to hang. I say, I don't know them no more. Because when people change from who I met, I feel like I would rather hang on to the person I met than the person that they may have, decided to become.
So you believe what they're saying about him?
I believe that there's enough information for me to at least take. And Sparkle is my best friend. I'll say that publicly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and her niece is my goddaughter. So yeah, I believe it.
Uh,
Yeah, I believe it. It's okay though.
I remember one time you told me R. Kelly was sleeping in the closet to get peace. He couldn't. He was so
Well, that was a
tired.
personal conversation.
I mean, yeah, but he's just sleeping in the closet. Man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I just wanted to speak. I just wanted to speak to the man not being restless. Like, that
It's a real
that
thing.
could wear on your psyche. Like
It
not being
does.
able to sleep.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Not being able to get rest.
yeah.
You know?
That was one of the things. Yeah, he used to do that, and I think it was just when you get to when you get a certain big, in your mind too. A lot of them stay in really small spaces, even though they'll be in an 8, 10,000 square foot mansion. Will sleep in the closet just to be in a protected space, probably that feels safe. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah. Closets are quiet though.
Hmm. And even when you tell people that you coming out of one, you never really do for real.
Huh. Wow.
I thought it was so interesting when you had that series. I was like, stop. But anyway, yeah. That's kind of the experience that I had. But it's really been a good ride. Like I said, sitting here talking to you makes whatever it was that I experienced in the business, it makes it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
wish more entertainers would take the trajectory that you've taken to empower our community. Yeah, I
Appreciate that.
respect that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's talk about Seven Aurelius.
Let's do it.
When's the last time you talked to Seven?
Where's my phone? He just texted me on the way here.
Is that right?
He did. He's doing amazing.
Seven to me is one of those guys who is like perhaps one of the greatest geniuses that people know who they don't know.
Hmm.
Like,
He
I mean,
is.
he's kind of elusive,
He really is.
you know?
His discography is wild. He just got a lot of technical things done. What do you call these things that the blockchain things that they're doing? The album covers and the what is it called?
Oh, NFT.
The NFT. So he just got an NFT. It was with LimeWire, but he's working on another situation right now. His ability to produce and write, I haven't ever seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
And we are always talking about, how historical that run was and how you can still, just like your music, go in somewhere and it'll sound like it was created yesterday. And I would really like to see somebody outproduce him.
Huh.
I really would.
Yeah. Just for the record, allow, give people some insight on some of the records he produced.
So he did pretty much everything that Ja Rule and Ashanti did. He recently worked with Kanye West. I think he's got 4 songs with him. Also, Janet Jackson, Jay-Z, Mariah Carey, Lionel Richie, Lenny Kravitz. Um, Gosh, I think those are the ones that stand out the most. But that whole run with Murder Inc., it was Seven Aurelius.
You know, what's the trip part about Seven too is like I remember Seven when he first came to rap a lot, and he'd be in
He
that
was
little, he was in
platinum
the
then.
little bitty room.
Yeah, the little bitty room.
in the
And he
little
moved
room.
on up a little higher, didn't he?
Yeah. Next thing I know, Seven was in the big room and he was the main guy.
What did
And
he had
next
a little
thing I
bird?
know,
Had a little bird on his shoulder
man,
on making the band. He
I
was on
looked,
making the band.
I didn't know that, but I
Yeah.
looked up and I saw that he was working with Murder Inc., Ja Rule and Ashanti, and I saw the stuff that he was producing, and I called him for a beat, and he said, man, shit, you can't afford me, man. No, he didn't say that.
No, he didn't say that.
But I felt like it because
Yeah, because the number was that, right?
I couldn't get a beat.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
yeah, but it was crazy. And then I remember seeing, like, Seven is like one of those dudes, like, when he walk into the room, you know he's in there. Like I don't care who's in the room. If Seven is in that room,
You know he there.
he one
And
of
he
those
gonna make
dudes.
sure.
He got a. The trip part about it is that he has a loud presence, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's quiet,
Mm-hmm. Very.
and people don't know. Most people, if they saw him, they wouldn't know who he is
Right.
because he's not projecting
But you
himself.
know he's somebody.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
tell. Yeah, he got
Mm-hmm.
that. He got
Mm-hmm.
that star quality. He
Mm-hmm.
got that about him.
Whenever I'm with him, people go, "Who is that?" And I
Yeah,
say, "Seven." Oh, the producer.
yeah.
It's that kind of presence that he's got. So you're correct. He does have a book out. And so
He
I'll
has a
definitely.
book out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
God
need
is
to check
genius.
that out.
Yeah, it is an amazing book, and it details his career very specifically. He wrote it himself. Um, he did the artwork. Like he can do all of that. So his
Hmm.
book is amazing. So we're looking to get some filming done of it as well. And that's the thing. I'm working in the film business as well. We kind of talked about that a little bit. So that's why I want to ultimately transition into a real estate mogul who produces films.
Ah, maybe you can
I
produce
believe
a
in land.
maybe you can produce a film called "Lay of the Land."
Let's do it.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll come up with some.
Something along those lines. We can
Don't
work
make me
on
take the
we
name.
can
I
work on
love
the
it.
title. We can work on the title.
Yeah, but you definitely have a screen worthy saga. Your life is definitely a movie.
Yeah, I think we'll get there.
We will.
We got I
You
got some
got. I know you
things.
got many
Like
miles to go before you
yeah,
sleep, but still.
yeah, exactly. Let's before we go too far, because I know we got to get into rap a lot. Your time at rap a lot, but
Yes, sir.
and some other things. But before we go too far, I want to go back to your humble beginnings in H Town.
Yes, sir.
What is a young Tiffany like growing up in your household, and who is raising you and instilling these values and this work ethic in you?
Oh my goodness. So my mom is from Cold Springs, Texas. She had 11 brothers and sisters, and
I never knew that.
yeah.
My kids' mom's family is from Cold Spring,
What's their last name?
Eldridge.
Oh
You
yeah, of
got to
course.
know
Oh
Eldridge.
yeah,
They got a
we're
street.
related. Yeah, we do too. We're the Elmores.
Damn,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course I know the Eldridges.
good
Yeah, of
God,
course. My
ain't that
mom's one of her
something?
best friends is Eldridge. Yeah, for sure. That's where we're from. So we from good stock, right?
Yeah,
So my
absolutely.
BC Elmore is my great uncle. That was my grandfather's
Did
brother.
not know that. Damn.
Yeah, so my family, my great aunt owned the gas station in Fifth Ward, Miss Hill, Emma Hill, and
Which one?
it was right on Jensen, and was it Jensen and Cavalcade? So I was born. My mom and
More
dad.
like Jensen. Had to be Jensen in Collinsworth.
Collinsworth. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Jensen and Collinsworth. So my mom and dad. I was born in Collinsworth Apartments. We eventually moved to Scenic Woods Plaza.
I used to live in Collinsworth
I'm
part.
sure.
Didn't know.
I
We
didn't know
we
that.
lived in the annex part.
Well,
What
see,
side y'all lived on?
I was there till I was 3, so I don't remember. I have to
Okay.
ask my mom, but that's where we were.
So the annex is the smaller group of apartments,
Um,
and then across the street is the larger complex.
I think we
But it's
probably
all
lived.
Collinsworth
Yeah, we
apartments.
lived in probably the big ones because I remember seeing stairs on my baby pictures and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
George Foreman used to preach on that corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gas station right there on the corner right now, on the corner of Collinsworth and 59 Southwest Freeway.
Mm-hmm.
But George Foreman used to preach on that corner, and it would be like 20, 30 seats out there, and it'd be like one
Of
person
course.
sitting on that front row, and George Foreman would be preaching, and I would look out my window, and I could see him, and I just was like, I pitied him so much.
Dude, what are you doing?
I was like, man, how did this guy go from being the champion of the world, the heavyweight champion of the world, to preaching on a corner with one person, sitting in the audience, and it was like a few years later, he mounted a comeback. In fact, before that, around that same time, I started boxing at his gym in Fifth Ward. His brother Roy was managing the gym, and so I was fighting out of his gym. But man, within a few years, he was on that comeback trail, and next thing you know, he was heavyweight champion of the world again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He had those grills out,
Mm-hmm.
$100 million business,
Mm-hmm.
and it just proved to me it ain't over till you say it's over.
It is not.
It ain't over.
It is not. And it's so crazy that you would mention George Foreman. That's secretly, that's my guy because George Foreman's family, the Foremans lived around the corner from me on Yorkwood. When we moved to Scenic Woods Plaza, so did his family. And they were the only black people that I ever know besides my husband and I that ever owned a convenience store. They had a convenience store right on the corner of Little York. And I think that street might be, I know Yorkwood is right there. But they had a Foreman's convenience store. That's what the first time I ever played Pac-Man and Tetris and all that was in George Foreman's store. So years later, after I had seen him do it, I was like, why don't we have convenience stores? And my husband and I ran one for 14 years
Mm-hmm.
in Studewood.
Right.
And he was a big inspiration in our neighborhood because it was a big family of them. And any given day of the week, you could go in the store and see all his brothers, him, or anybody
Mm-hmm.
in a black neighborhood in the what? 80s, 70s, and 80s? Yeah, they had a
Yeah.
store
Yeah.
in my neighborhood. I
So,
started with him.
so you're growing up in. You live primarily in
Scenic Woods
in
Plaza.
Scenic Wood Plaza,
Till I
right?
went to college.
Okay. So you're growing up in Scenic Wood. Your mom is your primary inspiration.
Yes, she is. My mom
And she
was
still
everything.
is to this day.
To this very...
Y'all, it's beautiful to see y'all relationship, see how close that y'all are to
Thank
this
you.
day.
Yeah, we
When you
work
talk
on it.
about your mom, you still like you're still very much mama's little girl.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, my mom instilled a lot in us. She
Yeah.
worked at an oil she climbed towers at an oil refinery in Pasadena to raise us. And then she opened
Climb
up.
towers.
Yeah, my mom used
Good
to.
God.
Yeah, my mom did. My mom had a couple of degrees too, and she was drop dead gorgeous, still is. And she went out in steel toe boots and blue jeans and insulated jackets and helmets. That's how.
What?
Yeah, yep. Shift work, and the whole community, like my neighborhood, raised us. We pull the phone out of the house into the garage, and when it rang, you better be checking. We always had to be in distance of the phone. And then she opened up there was a Presbyterian school in the neighborhood. They decided they didn't want to be maybe it was a Lutheran. Didn't want to be in the black neighborhood no more. They gave us that school, that land, and everything. We bought it for almost next to nothing, and that's how my mom became an entrepreneur. So I grew up, Will, raised by the church, by my family, by the community. And I just had some real good people in my life. Then as I got older, then I ran across people like you. And then you want to talk about rap a lot. I ran across people like James, people like Rodney were in my life. Then as I moved on, like Janetta Patton, that's my mentor. When I went to work with Usher as his personal assistant, then she became the person that, helps guide me in my career and my moves now. So I've just always had, like, I don't have that story. That, can you curse on here?
Yes, you absolutely
That
can.
fucked up life that people talk about. Oh, I was mishandled by the black community. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Me, I was raised. I didn't just grow up. I was raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, don't really have that experience. I have it, but there's a lot of us that don't. And for those who don't, what trips me out is how much emphasis, how much stock we put into wanting to have that struggle life. Like if I didn't have it, I can't really relate. People
Right.
tell me all the time, they say, well, if you didn't have that life, you wouldn't be who you are. And I say, yeah, I'd probably be better.
Right, for sure.
I probably would have done even
Hey,
greater
give me a
things.
hand. Give me a hand up.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with that.
What do you think about people who try to criticize Ice Cube's son about nepotism, like benefiting from nepotism?
So they want us to start over every time?
Oh, man. Okay. No more talk. Ooh, that's a mic drop.
I mean, what the...
That's a mic drop.
You want me to start over every single time?
Huh.
Like I am the answer to my great grandfather's prayer. I
Oh,
shouldn't be
Lord.
praying the same prayer that my great grandfather. Lord, no. If we up and out, then let's be up and out.
Uh,
Now, what I will say to Ice Cube's son and you, Mr. Brother Jackson, send the elevator back down. You know what I'm saying? Don't use your nepotism to lord over people, but definitely use it like it was for you to level people up.
oh, you ain't got to worry about that with him.
Yeah, I know.
He was,
Yeah.
he one,
I
he
know
one of
it's
the good
Paul.
ones. Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
He
when
come
I
from
was
good stock.
doing the celebrity basketball games here, I still tell people I don't know if Cube will see this or not, but I
Yeah.
say he learned how to do basketball games from me. I tease him because everywhere I went, Ice Cube would go. I mean, he would literally bring his people, even if it cost him. He would come and support me. He supported me from here to Chicago to Atlanta. So I always say Cube is one of the ones that I hope that his sons, children get to stand on the platform that he created.
I think they're gonna be all right. They're
Me too.
sharp. He's sharp. Q was sharp. The kids are sharp. You know. You
They're
know.
doing it.
The wife is sharp.
But let me
You
ask you
know.
something. Who is it that's got a problem with it? Because I've never been able to
I think
identify.
Those
Who wish they had it?
those who wish they had it,
Okay.
and those who wish bad for
Yeah.
anybody that's doing
Anybody.
well, right? This is really our first generation of kids who I think this is our first generation of millionaire black kids.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's not just one, two, three.
There's going to be
It's
a ton of them.
a ton of
Your daughter.
black kids
Your
who can
kids.
have millionaire blood. Right? They got the millionaire bloodline, and their friends all live in big houses. Their parents drive big cars. Their parents are professionals. They own their own businesses. But with all of that said, with all of the stuff that a lot of these kids have, it seemed like they're experiencing more trauma, more depression, like way more than we ever had. Like I remember my son telling me when he was like in the 9th grade, he was stressed.
Really?
I was like, I said, "What you say?"
Stress.
I'm stressed. I gotta do this. I got this report. I'm like, boy. I said, look, man. You don't
Tell us what you really said.
Say, look, man. You don't pay no bills.
Right.
Well, I didn't cuss at him because I don't cuss my kids.
Yeah.
I never cuss.
Oh,
my
no.
kids,
I wasn't
ever.
suggesting that at all.
Yeah,
and I
but-
never grew up getting cursed out
Yeah.
either. Ever.
But I told my son, I said, boy, you don't pay no bills. You ain't got a mortgage. You ain't got a car note. You ain't got kids. You ain't got to worry about contacting the lawn man. You ain't got no worries. All you got to do is clean your room and go to school and not act a fool and make good grades. And
That's your job.
You straight.
That's it. That's your
That's it.
job. That's it.
Talking about he's stressed.
Of course he is. All these blessings.
I didn't
He's
even-
stressing.
I didn't even know. I don't even remember ever being stressed.
Even using the word.
Exactly.
I never even use the word stress because, like I started selling cool cups in the garage. Me and my little sister I sold pickles and cool cups and tuna sandwiches and chips. And so I always was like, I think the stress that these kids had, they may not have the resources to relieve it. Because my stress was figuring out how I was going to get a season pass every summer. You know what I mean?
It's Astroworld.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what I did too. I found a way to do it. I mean, we didn't have a choice. And this is what I say to these kids. It's like, you have everything you need. You've been given everything you need to succeed, and you got it doubly. Because you can do it in person and you can do it online. We didn't have that option, right? And so now our children have become an endangered species, but they have more to help them win. So how are we losing our children the way that we're losing them when we have more resources to win? That's why I tell people, you got to remember what the words say. We wrestling against a spirit. There's a spirit out here for our kids, stressed, depressed. What you talking about? You black. You know what I'm saying? We've already taken the beating for you. There is nothing for you to do except to do the right thing. And so when you talk about rap a lot, and the reason why I don't talk about my past as much in the rap business is because I feel a little irresponsible about some of the messages that I perpetuated back then, seeing the results of them now. I didn't want our kids to take those messages to heart, you know?
Mm.
So when I hear them stressed, I feel like I played a little bit into that because if they ain't gangster and if they ain't drinking and drugging, they feel like they are not a part of their culture when that's not what we were building, at least not me. So, yeah, we could talk about rap a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, but how much of that is the responsibility of artists versus parents? And this is what I want to say. I
All
think,
of it.
but here's what I want to say though. As far back as I can remember, it's taken a village to raise a child,
Yes.
right? And but having said that, I think sometimes we lean too much on the village and we push the responsibility
I
off
love that
to
perspective.
others.
Hmm.
Like we'll push the responsibility of parenting off to the grandparents
Hmm.
or the sister or the brother who has a little more. Or we'll push it off to the government. You know what? I can't handle these kids. Send them to a home.
Hmm.
Whatever. We just push off. And then many of us who are empathetic toward those struggles, and some of us who may have had to deal with those struggles ourselves,
Hmm.
will go like, yeah, but we got to come in and we got to take care of them. So they always know that. That's why in the black community, if you say kids, you got anybody. Okay, the
Yeah,
kids. It's
yeah.
for the
For the
kids.
kids.
For the kids. Okay, it's for the kids. I got you. I got you. Just say for the kids,
And
and we
it's
coming. We coming. Right? And I think a lot of parents use that as a crutch.
Hmm.
And they even blame the music. They blame
Hmm.
Hollywood, whatever. When I was, okay, I got two kids.
Hmm.
And I feel, well, not feel, but I think that if you are a parent,
Hmm.
you have first shot at your children. You got the first shot at them. I would feel inadequate as a parent
Hmm.
if I got first shot at my kids. I actually shot them.
Hmm. Right. I got you. Literally.
I'm saying I brought them into the world. You know what I'm
Right. You
saying?
did indeed.
I helped bring them in,
Yeah.
right?
They're yours.
I got them from the time they come out the womb.
Yeah.
I'm the first one they see besides the well, I'm there. They see me, but I hold them. I'm the second one to hold them
Hmm.
after the afterbirth is wiped
Right.
off.
Yeah.
I got them first.
Right.
I'm day one holding, molding.
Hmm.
I'm consulting. I'm teaching. I'm coaching.
And
You
demonstrating
know,
with your
yeah,
life. Yeah.
I'm demonstrating,
Hmm.
right? So for me to say that once my kids get a certain age and they start messing up, that, oh, rap did it. It's hip hop. No.
Yeah.
To me, I would feel inadequate as a parent. If I believe that if you're going to give rap the blame for when kids don't turn out like they should
Hmm.
and they go out and do bad stuff, you need to give us the credit when they go out there and do good stuff and they turn
Absolutely.
out good.
Indeed.
And I've yet to hear that argument be made to the masses. I haven't heard that argument. I've heard all of the negative stuff about hip hop. Woo, 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 woo. But I haven't heard those same kids who had peers who grew up off of hip hop too.
Hmm.
And many of them became successful.
Yeah.
Many of them became successful.
Hmm.
They listened to hip hop. Many of them tell me to this day they were inspired. They went to college. They started their business because they listened to Ghetto Boys or they listened to Willie D or whoever, you know, Public Enemy, KRS-One. They did this because they heard that music. So, and then you hear the ones who say, well, I went to jail because I was listening to
Because it was
your
going to go
music.
anyway.
Okay. Somebody told me they went to jail because they listened to Mind Playing Tricks. Do you know that Mind Playing Tricks was a cautionary tale?
Absolutely.
The entire song was a cautionary tale.
Sure. Greatest story ever
People
told.
have cognitive dissonance. They only hear what they want to hear and they take that part and they run with it. In my verse, I said, I make big money. I drive big cars. Everybody know me.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a movie star.
Yeah.
Then I said, but
late at night.
but late at night. See, they missed that
Something
part.
ain't right.
I feel I'm being tailed by the same sucker's headlights. Is it that fool that I ran off the block?
Or is it
Or is it that nigga last week that I shot? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm paranoid.
Yeah.
I'm
And the one you
telling
beat for $5.
I'm telling you, I'm trying to get up out. I got to get up out this, man.
Yes.
So you ain't hear none of that. All you
of it.
heard is make big money.
Yeah.
I drive big cars because that's what you wanted to hear. That's
Sure.
what you wanted to do.
Sure.
So I'm looking for the accountability side. Like I believe I'm big on accountability. Even when I've been wrong, even when I've done wrong, I can take my bitter with my sweet. I can say, you know what? I brought that on myself.
For sure.
Even if I jump in a car with somebody, unbeknownst, I knew the car was stolen, but I jumped in anyway, and we get caught up, and I end up in jail. I'll be like, you know what? I shouldn't have got in the car in the first place because I know this sucker. You know,
It's
he
bad
ain't right anyway.
Listen, you must have read the news about the little girl here in town where they shot the lady. No. He didn't shoot her. He stole her money. And she got paralyzed for life, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the kid, the young lady, was talking to her mom on the phone, on a recorded line in jail. And she said, but Mama, I was just driving. She said, you didn't know what you were driving into? Baby, you got to take this one.
Yeah,
You know?
this 17-year-old boy,
17.
he robbed her. He picked her up and slammed her.
Well, he went and got the money. Went and got an envelope that he thought had the money in it. He had the first opportunity to escape. He realized the money wasn't there and goes back. And then that's when he
slams her
and paralyzes her.
Yeah.
And then this kid is driving, this little young girl driving, and their lives are ruined as a result of it. And then, of course, we're just talking about accountability here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm here because of rap music. I'm here because I got to stand on whatever risk James took, whatever risk you took, and then you shared it with people in the community. I will never, ever have a negative thing to say about it. I just feel like if I were speaking to my younger self, I probably would have had a message that said, just like, okay, prime example, Will, and we can keep it moving. But I notice how Justin Bieber and all these people is fighting right now. And then his ex-girlfriend comes online, Selena Gomez, and says, hey, stop bullying my ex-boyfriend's new wife. Okay? Now, that type of resolution and some of the other resolution I see, I like to encourage that type of peace in our communities. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that rap or anything is responsible for it. I'm just saying that some of the situations I feel that are created for us, we could come out dealing with one another better. And I think that some of the things in our community have perpetuated us being against each other. Like me and you, we never had a falling out. We've been knowing each other for over 35 years, something like that.
Yeah, and that's primarily because you agree that I'm always right.
Correct.
And then I agree that you're always right.
Correct. So no, I loved what you just said, and I think that that's a message that needs to be rang around the world. Like, it does get a bad rap, but what you just said, I'm gonna roll with that. Yeah, that changed. That I've never heard it put that way, and that's how it is when I talk to you. I always get a different perspective on things. Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna run with that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Next.
Who are some of the other people that you've worked with that I may not know that you've worked with? I know you work with so many people, but
So
I don't want to be like at your funeral and they be like, yeah, she worked with such. And I'm like, man, looking at it like,
oh, what you're
I
doing
thought
is
I knew her.
suggesting that I'm gonna go before you. That's what we can go in. I'm gonna be at your funeral telling the people that you one of the people I worked with.
Hey, however it go,
We
however
have an agreement.
however it go,
We
yeah,
have an
we
agreement.
have an agreement.
So my brother has been Magic Johnson's attorney for the last 20 something years. So he's, allowed his little sister to tag along and work in those spaces with Magic. Life changing.
Okay.
I was on the road for a stint with Brian McKnight, life changing. Evander Holyfield, that's kind of where I got my boxing experience from. I cut my teeth in boxing with James and Evander. I helped, I think I planned the event for the opening of the Fifth Ward gym. That's how long ago that was. So, and through James, at that particular time, I worked with Mike Tyson. His sister Jackie and I went and I helped pick the office in Brooklyn that they had back in the day. And then when Floyd Mayweather came, I was able to work with him. I worked with Latasha Scott from Escape for a while. Her husband Rocky and we're good friends. We're like brothers and sisters. Actually, he was the one who introduced me to Rob. So he's the reason for all of this mess. No, just don't kill me, Rocky. But yeah, that's it. And now I work with I work with G Unity.
Yeah, but I think that you should totally embrace, your
You
your.
always say that.
I think you should totally embrace your entire past because, I'm not saying that it's something to brag on or whatever, anything that
It does sound like a brag, though. That's why I don't do it.
But anything that probably had an adverse effect on your life or whatever, it's the old saying: if it don't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of your story,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a very compelling story. And whether you want to admit it or not, you have a movie yourself. You got a book or two yourself.
Here we
You
go,
you
Will.
got it. You got a book.
Correct.
You got at least a couple of books in you. All right,
Sir.
and you have a film yourself. So I think that you should embrace that. It's like me being associated with certain people and maybe they did something wrong or whatever, or the relationship didn't work out right or whatever. But it happened. It is what it is, and I'm a big advocate for telling it like it is, even at my funeral. If I did some shit, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, this what it is, man.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't gonna be no 2-minute expressions at my funeral.
No, not
but
at
if
all.
you're on the program,
I got you.
hey, man, knock it out the park, baby. Speak on it.
But
Speak
trust me,
on
you'll
it.
be vetted.
Yeah, speak on it. But I'm not with all the fake stuff at the funeral, though. All these
neither.
people that be at these funerals get up there and be like, yeah, and he was just he's starting. I don't even want to hear the whole stuff about joining church at an early age. If that wasn't like a prerequisite for funeral programs, I wouldn't mind it.
Right.
But because I'm not really a church guy,
Yeah.
to come out saying like he found Christ at an early age and like, nah, that
You're
ain't
like, nah, he
that
found
ain't
me. Trust me.
That
At
ain't,
all.
that ain't me,
I
man.
got you.
I
I got
ain't
you.
really.
Trust me, I got you. You ain't got to worry about it, man. I'm going to
Yeah.
say good things. Because really, I don't have anything but good things to say, man. Your life has lived itself, honestly.
Yeah.
And you're still young. So it's just like you haven't even done half of what I feel like you're going to do. I think that you have trailblazed, especially for people that are from Houston. That's what I say. When people say, where you from? I say, I'm from H-Town. Oh, for real? I'm from Houston. Yeah, home of the ghetto boys. You know about that? What you know about that? And people they just light up when they hear where I'm from. And I stand on where I'm from because, again, I wouldn't be right here everybody from, just probably anybody in the city, even Mr. Knowles, just gave
Shout
me
out to
some.
Matthew
Hey,
Knowles.
Mr. Knowles. He and my brother worked together. I introduced them and they kind of forgot about me. That's how it goes. But he was just always very encouraging, always participatory. From the very first time I heard the name Destiny's Child, I could call Mr. Knowles and they would show up and just, just really bless us. And so I'm just thankful that I'm from here. And I'm thankful that the people that are here that could have helped, they did. And I don't know anybody who would have helped you or anybody that helped me, and you would have told them no.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, me and Matt got some stories, like before all of the
I'm
big
sure.
stuff went down.
I'm sure.
Hey, I will say this. Matt ain't the one to play with.
At all. And I learned that from him.
Yeah, don't let the smooth taste fool you.
At all.
Matthew knows is not the one to play with.
No, he is not. And the big deals are gonna be done.
Yeah.
And he's gonna always find out where the assets are. I appreciate that. He taught me that.
Let's go back to those snacks you used to sell. So, did you sell them at school, at home, or where?
No, from the garage. Yeah.
Did you ever have a problem with your inventory coming up missing?
Absolutely. I had a little sister and I had a few thieves in the neighborhood that thought it was cool to come steal from my store at an early age, right?
Right.
But what they couldn't do, they couldn't steal the fact that my other business was like I had a tape recorder, play the tape, write the lyrics. I worked in the office because my aunt was a counselor and I used to make copies of the lyrics and sell them to people for around 75 cents because people want, especially when like Reunited came out, Peaches and Herb, you got the man singing, the lady singing, and then together everybody wanted to know all the words, and I was always real good at words. Like, it's probably not a song you can sing that I don't know the words to, but then y'all came along. Rap ruined that business, so I transitioned.
Rap ruined the business?
Yeah, because I couldn't write hip hop or hippie to the hip hop to the bang bang. Up jumped the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie. It was just
So we ran you out of business.
y'all ran me out.
And then
of
we
business.
put you back in business.
And then y'all put me back in business. But I used to go to Budget Chopper, whatever that little space was right up there, and get all my food products. And me and my sister, we would set them out, and then people would just come with their allowance and buy. We had one situation. You remember the little animals they used to give at Sonic? You remember the little animals that
Sonic,
you used to
okay.
give with Sonic?
Yeah.
We had cleaners tickets, and we were selling those tickets. And then you were gonna get, you were gonna be able to win these animals from the Sonic. And my mom had no idea. And the man across the street blew that business. He came over there on payday because we had let him get some of the tickets on credit. And he came over on payday to pay us. My mom was like, "Yeah, they selling tickets to what?" He said, "Well, I'm just want to, have a chance to win the prize." And it was my first and last scam. And so yeah, I went out. Yeah.
Did you get a whip?
What? Of course. Yeah, my mom didn't spare the rod.
What kind of rod did she use?
She had a rule with her rod. She did not believe in hitting her children anywhere but on their behind. And you could choose your own weapon.
What?
My stepfather, who was not allowed to whoop us, you could go get your belt and go whip yourself. That's how my sister grew up.
You whoop yourself with the belt, and then
wasn't
what they
allowed.
tell you, that ain't hard enough,
Yeah.
or something that you saw.
No, he would just.
I've never heard of that.
You haven't? Yeah, that's a thing in our family.
Whoop yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
You lived a princess life.
Really? I never.
Whoop yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Even now, I believe in giving myself my worst penalty. I don't let anybody penalize me for my actions more than I penalize myself.
I can see that. I can see that. I do that to myself too.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a food business as a kid. I was an entrepreneur. 7th grade, we had a shack in front of our house, like a little small shack, a wooden shack.
A shack? Do you call it a shack?
Shack.
A shack.
And I set up shop.
What?
And I got me a snack store.
Mm-hmm.
I got my little sign and everything out front. I got a window. Man, I come in one day.
What you was at a Fifth Ward?
City gas.
Oh, that's right. You was in City Gas.
Yeah, we had
Mona
moved,
used to take you to
we had
City Gas
moved to
first.
City Gas.
Yeah.
We moved to City Gas. We was living on Fowley.
Uh-huh.
And I came in, I opened that door, and I went to grab my stuff, man, and rats had gotten
In your shack.
all
You didn't protect your
all through the
inventory.
food, man. I was like, and then I didn't have any I didn't have any type of ventilation inside of the place, so
Chocolates. Well, well. I sold
that was
watermelons
the
with
end of
mom.
my that was the
That
end
was
of
in
my
your
snack
aspiration.
business. Yeah, that was the end
But
of my
then you
snack.
came back and owned a restaurant
Yeah,
too.
I did come back, and I still own some restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You came
so
back and did
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
I did that. We used to sell watermelons. We would go to the country, get watermelons and bring them back to sell them, not thinking about the temperature. We came back the next day, all of them had busted, right?
Wow.
Yeah, watermelons, that water get hot
Yeah.
and bust. So that, I tried in the culinary business early on as well. And look, both of us, I'm a trained chef now. I had a restaurant for 14 years. I'm consulting restaurants now. Um, One of my clients is believe it or not, is a franchise owner for Godfather's Pizza.
Okay.
And right here in Houston. And then I work with the Turkey Leg Hut right here in Houston. And then I'm working with a dessert company that's right here in Houston. So all of it, like none of it will be wasted for sure. None of my past will be wasted. But that's one of my loves is food, entertaining, and music. That's what I really, really, really love.
Right.
Yeah, and people.
And people.
Hmm.
Man, tell me something about Brian McKnight that people may not know, not something
Oh
too
no,
heavy.
not at all.
But Brian is one of those guys who, for a moment he was like he had it all to himself. He had that lane, that
Hmm.
R&B crooner lane, all to himself, and then he kind of like got out the way for a minute. Was you around him at that time?
No, so I was during. It was probably the highlight of his career. I was there on the Anytime tour.
Okay.
Yes, I worked with him during that time. And actually, one of Rodney's friends from New York introduced me to Brian, and that's how I ended. I was supposed to go on the road and do all of these after parties and events like that, and that's how I ended up on the road. It's interesting. Jamie Foxx used to show up to every show, and he would follow us from city to city,
Hmm.
and all he wanted to do was either tell jokes or sing. So I've been knowing
He was trying to
Jamie.
get Brian to sign him
Yeah.
to a deal,
Hmm.
record deal.
But one thing about Brian is that he's a what I remember is that he was a perfectionist.
Hmm.
And what I can say about entertainers like him and most of y'all love it perfect. And sometimes I think that setting that standard for yourself sometimes means that you uh, don't feel like you can exceed or you feel a need to exceed what you've already done. I mean, Brian's voice is impeccable. He plays all of these instruments.
Hmm.
He's from a musical family. His children are musical. He has everything of an R&B great, and he is. I'll never take anything from Brian. His voice, I used to be in some of the sessions with him just hearing him rehearse. Man, the man's voice is like butter.
Hmm.
And when I hear him when I hear songs on the radio now, I'm like, I need something new from Brian. So Brian, we need something new from you, like immediately. The man is amazing
Yeah.
and treated
He,
me well.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Brian is that dude. He always been that dude. I remember he used to come here like back in the '90s
Hmm.
and
All the time.
sold out, sold out,
Used to
sold
come in. He
out,
would
sold
coach my
out,
celebrity
sold out,
basketball
sold
games
out.
because he think he can ball.
He can. He can ball a little. Brian got a little. I mean, he ain't like Willie D or nothing on the court.
Almost got me fired when I
He
started
ain't,
working.
he ain't got them handles like Will, you know what I'm saying? But, Brian can ball. I
He
seen him
can.
ball.
He can.
Brian can ball. Kelly can ball.
Hmm.
Flex can ball.
Hmm. Another one. Used to
Yeah,
come all the time for my celebrity basketball games. Flex and Shawnice are my good friends as well.
right.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Flex and Shawnice. And I set up a game. Um, I set up a game between Brian and Rob one time because Brian was, he had a show in Chicago. And Will, honestly, I tell you that all the time. Man, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing the work. That's it. Nobody had given me a blueprint. I'm little legs yay long, I'm thicker than everybody that I work with, darker, and probably less experienced, but I was there, right? So I'm like, if I'm in the room, whatever has to be done, I'm gonna do it. I set that game up. Man, I think I probably got fired, or at least got this that day, because Brian waxed Rob's head on that court.
Really?
Yeah, but Rob don't allow nobody beating him at basketball.
So they played again.
No, they didn't play again. I think I got fired for a couple of days.
Oh.
So you gonna bring somebody down here to beat me?
Did
He paid for the
do y'all
gym.
have
It was
any
his
kind of
gym.
film? Is there any film of this?
Um,
That would be epic.
Let me see. I don't know. If I find something, I'll let you know. I know there's a video. I think Chief took of Rob playing basketball over at the compound one night.
Shouts out to Big Chief.
Yeah. Ooh, yes, Big
Big
Chief.
Chief, not Little Chief. Now Chief done lost that weight.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
Chief done got lean on
I'd
us.
like to see it.
Yeah.
All this article and paid off, huh?
Yeah.
Good for him. But yeah, I think there's some film. I think Big Chief does have that video of Rob hooping at the compound late one night. I used to set stuff like that up.
Yeah,
people come in town and yeah.
That would be dope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be dope, but not as dope as Tiffany Parker, y'all. I'm talking about, I really do appreciate you coming on the show.
So much fun, Will.
And we got to do this again because you got so much more. We kind of we kind of just touched on some things, but I just wanted to really give people a feel for who you are because I know you don't do interviews and you don't really you like to be in the back, and that's something I want to ask you about. Like, what's this about? It's like you've worked with a lot of bosses, but you're one of the few people who have a boss type persona while working with bosses, not in an arrogant or a controlling, authoritative way, but more like in a respectful, insightful way.
Mm-hmm.
How you pull it off?
48 Laws of Power say never outshine your master.
There it is. Boy, I wish I would have read that damn book a few years ago.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
I never had the need to.
Right.
I never felt, I always wanted to, I always want to see you go as far and as high as you can go. Like, if you can make $1 zillion and I can have something to do with it, I don't care that people know. What I do care is that the people that I'm involved with, that they're better because they knew me. That's it. That's it. Like, I guess maybe I didn't want to be seen back then because I didn't feel like I deserved to be seen. That's a younger woman talking. Today, I don't feel the need to because I know I could be seen and I really don't want to. It just doesn't matter to me. But if I see you going there, I'm good. That's why people say a seat at the table. No, I'm a tree. Everybody who build a table from my tree, I'm cool with that.
Man, I ain't never heard that one, boy. I need to get my own little old seat at the table thing.
Yeah,
because that's a good one. Like, that's a good.
Yeah, you do. You can have it.
That's a good one. I'm the tree. Everybody
tree.
that's got a seat at the table built it from my tree.
From my tree. I'm a tree.
Oh man,
So
I
are
like
you, brother?
That. I'm a tree.
Yeah, you a tree, and
I'm
the
a
table
tree.
that I have is from what you did.
I'm a tree. Remember me. I came to see. It's better to be.
That's why I'm free.
That's why I'm free. Hey, what's the better to be viewed thing? Better to be.
Oh, you say it's good to see you. I say,
Good
well,
to see you.
it's better to be seen than viewed.
It's better to be seen than viewed.
Yes, sir.
Man, Tiffany, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, Will.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. It's been a thrill to let you know how I feel.
Yes.
Some might grit and picture fit, but to watch on my wrist, say that's all you're going to get.
Yes, sir.
Until next time, no more talk.